You didn't see this unfold. You woke up inside it. At 2 a.m., Venezuela activated its defenses, accusing the U.S. of military aggression. By 4:21 a.m., a post appeared online saying the country's president had been captured, placed on a plane, and flown out. This wasn't a war people followed live. It was a reality people refreshed into while half awake. Somewhere between hitting snooze and making coffee, an entire government lost its head, and the world realized something had changed. Quietly, quickly, and without asking for permission. It felt sudden, but it wasn't. For months, U.S. warships gathered across the Caribbean. Oil tankers tied to Venezuela's economy were seized. Drone strikes hit alleged drug boats offshore. Stealth jets appeared in Puerto Rico. 15,000 U.S. troops positioned themselves just close enough to matter. Officially, none of this meant invasion, and technically, it didn't. This wasn't about occupying territory, it was about leverage, about making resistance feel pointless before anyone even tried. The pressure campaign wasn't meant to explode. It was meant to soften the ground for one very short, very decisive night. The first explosions weren't about destruction, they were about distraction. Military facilities around Caracas lit up, pulling attention and forces toward the wrong problem. Radar flickered, communications degraded, orders slowed. And in modern warfare, hesitation kills faster than bullets. Expensive systems suddenly behaved like confused smartphones with no signal. Lots of blinking, zero clarity. While commanders tried to figure out what was real, something else was already moving. This is the dirty secret of modern conflict. You don't have to overpower defenses if you can confuse them long enough. By the time the picture sharpened, the operation was already underway. Helicopters came in low, fast and quiet. Not parade helicopters. These were aircraft built for darkness, flown by pilots trained to read terrain through night vision lenses, hugging rooftops and shadows. Above them, air defenses searched empty skies. Below them, a city slept through history-changing hands. Urban environments are unforgiving. Every window a threat, every second borrowed. That's why this phase moved fast. Speed replaced armor. Timing replaced mass. The city didn't wake up because it didn't have time to decide what was happening. And that hesitation was everything. Killing ends problems. Capturing creates them. According to officials, the mission wasn't elimination, it was custody. That raised the difficulty instantly. Identification had to be perfect. Mistakes wouldn't just be tactical failures, they'd be political disasters. Close quarters battle isn't chaos. It's discipline at full sprint. Doors breached, rooms cleared, security overwhelmed, targets restrained, verified. No speeches, no delays. Because the most dangerous part of any raid isn't getting in. It's staying too long. Once surprise evaporates, every second costs more than the last. And the clock never stops yelling. Extraction is where plans go to court disaster. By now, the city was waking up. Distant gunfire echoed like a late apology. Helicopters returned under cover, weapons scanning rooftops that never fired back. Boarding took seconds that felt like minutes. Then the formation dropped altitude and vanished. Total ground time, minutes, not hours, not days, minutes. By the time Venezuelan forces fully understood what had happened, there was nothing left to intercept. The loudest moment of the night wasn't the explosions. It was the silence that followed. When the sun came up, the language changed. Indictments, arrest warrants, narco-terrorism charges. This wasn't framed as conquest. It was framed as law enforcement. That distinction mattered. Suddenly, the raid wasn't a military strike. It was an arrest protected by force. Constitutional arguments exploded immediately. Commander-in-chief powers versus congressional authority. Dark irony. These debates only exist because the mission worked. Failure brings outrage. Success brings footnotes. But while Washington argued theory, Venezuela dealt with reality. And reality doesn't wait for legal clarity. Removing a leader doesn't remove power. It redistributes it. On paper, succession rules exist. In practice, power flows toward whoever controls guns, money, and movement. Military leadership suddenly became the most important political actor in the country, whether they wanted that role or not. Their calculation wasn't ideological. It was survival math. Fight and lose everything. Or wait, preserve influence, and survive whoever comes next. The hardest part of a coup is coordination. This time, that problem was solved overnight by someone else. And once expectations flip, resistance becomes irrational. This is where analysts get nervous. Venezuela doesn't just have politics. It has armed networks, cartels, militias, guerrillas, who understand territory better than any ministry ever will. These groups don't care about legitimacy. They care about opportunity. Power vacuums don't stay empty. They get rented. Smuggling routes test borders. Cash looks for protection. Loyalty becomes transactional. Neighboring countries tightened borders immediately. Refugee planning resumed. Armed groups move faster than elections, always have. The danger isn't instant chaos. It's slow fragmentation that looks manageable until it isn't. This didn't stay contained. Presidential travel schedules vanished across the region. Security protocols tightened. Intelligence sharing spiked. Markets adjusted to a new variable. Overnight leadership removal. Allies praised decisiveness. Adversaries warned about precedent. Offshore military forces stayed visible, not to fight, but to discourage interference. Deterrence isn't about threats anymore. It's about demonstrations, and this one landed hard. Borders suddenly felt theoretical. Distance stopped feeling safe. Once access is proven, it can't be unseen. Militarily, this was precision. Politically, it's volatile. The operation showed how modern power works when objectives are limited and timing is perfect. But success creates temptation. If one leader can be removed cleanly, others will plan for it or try to copy it. Security tightens. Trust erodes. Retaliation goes asymmetric. History punishes shortcuts taken after victories. The real challenge isn't whether the raid was impressive, it's whether the aftermath avoids old mistakes, purges, paralysis, or empowering armed groups that thrive in uncertainty. This operation ended in minutes. Its consequences will last years. A president was removed without a war. A country now waits between relief and fear. Cartels are watching. Militaries are calculating. Lawyers are arguing. And ordinary people are asking the most dangerous question of all. Who's really in charge now? Because once the door has been kicked in, it never quite closes the same way again. The real test begins now, not in the sky, but on the ground. So what do you think happens next? Let us know in the comments.